You're welcome. Welcome, Harriet. Last week you took us through habit 1, which was on being proactive, and some of the key insights that we took away were to reflect on what circumstances we have accepted in our lives, but also to think about how we can proactively take responsibility to change those circumstances. And of course, you gave us a number of tips like pausing and responding, using proactive language, focusing on our circle of influence, other than the circle of concern, which we cannot quite influence, but focusing on those things that we can do and then being the transition person. Already you can see the screen. We can see the screen as we head into habit 2. So Harriet, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jesse, and good morning to everybody on the call. As usual, it's such an excitement and enthusiasm for me to be here to share on a subject that I'm very passionate about. And I do hope every single one of you is well, and that as we go through this particular session, that will definitely have value for our time this early morning. Jesse has already given an overview. It looks like he looked into my time of facilitation, but we'll still go over what I have. And we are looking at habit 2. I'll always emphasize at the beginning of this call, for the sake of those who may not have been here in the previous times that I would have spoken, that these nuggets are not my own. I have taken them out of a book that thoroughly transformed my life, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And so whatever is in there, if you buy the book, you'll find that you get the same material. I also want to apologize. I'm having power issues, so I'm going to switch off my video so it's not a distraction because the power keeps going on and off. Okay. The other thing that we did last week is that we mentioned that the themes of the book are paradigms and principles, private victory, which are habits 1, 2, and 3, public victory, which is habits 3, 4, and 6, and the renewal habit, which is habit 7. This particular book doesn't mention the 8th habit that came up. There is an 8th habit, but it's not in this particular book. And we are looking at the private victory. We've looked at habit 1, and this week we are looking at habit 2. But just to do a recap of habit 1, which is to be proactive, we did say that in being proactive, we are responsible for our own lives. Our behavior is a function of our own choices. Our behavior should be based on principles rather than feelings. If you want to be an effective leader, an effective person, an effective business person, your behavior should be based on principles rather than feelings. We also did say we have been given the gift of being able to subordinate our feelings to principles, and we have the initiative and the responsibility to make things happen in our lives. That is what being proactive, habit 1, is all about. And we also looked at some practices, and Jesse has mentioned them, that we should pause and respond based on principles and desired results, use proactive language, focus on your circle of influence, become a transitional person. And so today we are looking at habit 2. And habit 2 states that we should begin with the end in mind. We should always begin with the end in mind. And so our objective this morning is to understand the 2nd habit of highly effective people and understand how to apply this 2nd habit. Now, habit 2 contracts the following common paradigm. The common paradigm out there is that I cannot predict how my life will turn out. So I just go with the flow. If you're saying it in Luganda, you'd say, whatever comes, let it come, I'll go with the flow. That is a common paradigm, that things happen to me and there's nothing I can do about them. But the habit 2 of highly effective people says, I clearly define my vision and purpose in life and know that it will make a difference if I do so. So clearly defining my vision and purpose in life will make all the difference to who I am and what I achieve. That is the paradigm for habit 2. Habit 2 says, it means I start every endeavor with clearly defined outcomes. In other words, when I start something, in my mind, it is very clear what I want to get out of this particular activity. It also means I determine my life purpose, my own life purpose, okay? And I would have underlined own life purpose, that what belongs to you. You may not be able to determine what happens to other people, but you can determine your own life purpose. And number 3, it ensures that you're climbing the ladder of success at the correct wall. Okay, it's one thing to have your ladder of success, but it also ensures that you are leaning that ladder against the correct wall, and we're going to see that later on. Now, it goes back to this diagram, and this diagram is a key one in the habits of highly effective people, which says between stimulus and response is a space called choice. And this particular habit brings out the fact that out of the 4 gifts, imagination is one that this habit rides on. We have been given the gift as human beings of imagination. I did mention that the freedom to choose is possible because we have 4 gifts: self-awareness, imagination, conscience, and independent will. Now, the gift of imagination is upon which the habit 2 rides. So my question to you is, what do you see in the future? What is the vision of you? And remember, we did mention, and I'm going to mention it over and over again, that Steve Covey says private victory always precedes public victory. You need to be able to see the vision of you as a person. What do you see 5 years from now? What does Harriet see 10 years from now? What will that Harriet look like? What will that Harriet look like 15 years, 20 years, or 34 years from now? I don't know if I've mentioned here, I'm believing God from this point forward for 34 productive years. If all is within my power, I would love to leave this earth at 95, and I have 34 years to get there. So what do you see in the future for you? What do you see? So the highly effective habit 2 has a number of principles. And the first principle is vision. As we've just said before, what do you see? The next one is commitment. And the next principle is purpose, or some other people love to call it mission. These are the 3 principles upon which habit 2 is carried. So what is your personal vision? Again, private victory comes before public victory. You cannot be able to succeed in your business vision or your family vision if you do not have your own personal vision statement. What is your personal vision statement? And I just want to give an example of what my personal vision statement is and what has helped me to become effective in a number of areas of my life. This is what I see 34 years from now. I see a vibrant, beautiful lady called Harriet Ocitti. And this lady is an exceptional consultant in effective leadership and communication. If you woke me up at any time of the night and ask what is your vision statement, this is what I'll tell you. I see a vibrant, beautiful lady, an exceptional consultant in effective leadership and communication. And each word has been chosen purposefully. Vibrant, meaning that I will focus on making sure that I'm healthy and do whatever it means that I need to do to become healthy, taking my supplements, exercising. Beautiful means that I look out for my outer, what I look like on the outside, my skin, my hair, my makeup and everything. Exceptional means that I'm constantly a lifelong learner, a consultant because I want to become better. The reason why I'm now taking extra studies so that I can be effective in helping others in the area of leadership and communication. This is my personal vision statement. I hope you each have one. I've put this here as an example just to let you know it is possible to have one, but it's something that you need to think about so that you can be able to know what you see in the future. Then what is your commitment statement? Remember, we said the principles are vision, commitment, and purpose. What is your commitment statement? And I've given here a number of commitment statements that maybe you could pick up. You could say, I commit to follow through the entire process of getting to where I want to be. I commit to duly and dutifully put in the hard work it takes to get me to my set goals. I commit to not give up, especially when things get hard and tough. If you have a commitment statement, it's like you're holding yourself accountable to the vision you've said about yourself. And this is my commitment statement. And it's just one sentence. This is something I'm willing to die for. The vision that I mentioned before is something I'm willing to die for. And therefore, as I mentioned my vision statement, my commitment statement is right next to it that says, I am willing to die to make this happen. What is your commitment statement? And then we mentioned the third principle is mission or purpose. In other words, what do you do to make sure you achieve your vision? Now, some of this might be things that you've gone through before. And again, as they say with adult learning, that repetition is usually the best teacher. So maybe you already have a mission statement, but is it clear? In other words, what do you do to make sure you achieve that vision which you have stated? And I've decided to bring out here some business mission statements, just because we are in a business environment. PayPal, you know PayPal. This is their mission statement: to build the web's most convenient, secure, cost-effective payment solution. And I'm sure most of us who use PayPal will agree that they are achieving this mission. LinkedIn, to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. And we can definitely attest to the fact that they are achieving this. Because they have a mission statement, it helps them to know exactly what to do. Remember, we are talking about begin with the end in mind. So LinkedIn's end in mind is to connect the world professionals to make them more productive and successful. Let's look at Amazon. I know most of us, if you're readers, must have an Amazon account. If you don't, I encourage you to, because Amazon is the best way to be able to read whatever you need to read in this world. And Amazon says to be Earth's most customer-centric company, where customers can find and discover anything they might want to buy online, and endeavors to offer its customers the lowest possible prices. My experience with Amazon is that that's actually what happens. I don't buy anything else apart from books, but there are many other things that you can buy from Amazon. But they have achieved helping us get the lowest possible prices, but also helped us to find whatever it is that we need to buy. That's their mission statement. My personal mission statement, based on my vision and my commitment, is to bring out the greatness in people by empowering them to discover and engage with tools for effective leadership and communication. Which means this is my end in mind, that at the very end, whatever I do, whatever endeavor I get involved in, even my speaking on this forum right now, is to I hopefully pray that I can bring out the greatness in every single one of you on this call and empower you to discover and engage tools for effective leadership and communication, whatever it is. And I forgot to let Jesse know that these slides are available and I can be able to give them to you, so you can be able to use them as a tool to help you to become effective. This is my mission statement. My challenge to you, as we always say, private victory always precedes public victory. Does your mission statement line up with the mission of the business you're engaged in? And I know all of us here are part of the Neolife network. So my question is, now that you have your mission statement, does it line up with the mission of the business you're engaged in? Because habit 2, when it talks about achieving, doing things with having the end in mind, you need to be sure that what you're engaged in right now helps you achieve your mission statement. I've often told people that there's certain things I've had to cut off from my life because they don't help me achieve my mission. They don't help me to move towards my vision. And so if you're here, you need to be able to say, I am involved with Neolife. I am involved with telling people about how to become healthy. I am here about helping people to use products that will help them in their homes. It lines up with my mission statement. If it doesn't, then there'll be a disconnect and you'll constantly be struggling and therefore not be effective. I'll say again, I'll ask again, does your mission statement line up with the mission of the business you're engaged in? Let's look at Neolife. Neolife's mission is to make the world a healthier and happier place. You need to put your mission statement, personal mission statement, side by side with this mission statement and ask yourself, is there a connection? Because if you're looking to be effective in habit 2, you need to be able to say, in the end, 10 years from now, my mission statement and that of Neolife connect so well that they almost become one. And yet you don't, not necessarily do you have to have this statement as your personal statement. You need to have your very own. In other words, even without Neolife, what do I stand for? What is it that makes me wake up every morning to do what I do? So I ask again, does your personal mission statement and that of Neolife line up with each other? Remember, one of the objectives is to find out whether your ladder of success, your mission, is leaning at the correct wall. And I found the reason why many of us are not effective is because our ladder of success, which is our mission, is leaning against the wrong wall, is leaning in the wrong direction. As somebody said, sometimes we are busy cutting down trees, and then until somebody says, Harriet, you're in the wrong forest, you're cutting down the wrong trees. Are you able to say that my mission in life, my purpose, the vision I see for my life is focused in the correct direction? It is important that we do, because at the end of the day, if this is not what is happening in your life, then you will not achieve habit 2 in being effective. So, question, what is my purpose in life? What is my personal goal? Number 1, is it clear? Is my vision clear? Is my mission clear as a person? Then I move from there and say, what is my business month goal? Now, this is for us in Neolife. What is my month-end goal? I know what my purpose in life is. I know what the end in mind is for me as a person. But what about my business? At the end of July, what should my goal be? By the end of July, this is what I see. By the end of this year, this is what I see for my business. By the end of 5 years, this is where my business is going. And then whatever activities I get involved in, as I engage with my team, as I engage with I make connections with other Neolife business people, as I make myself visible in other networks, carrying my business, I will achieve my end goal. And then at the end of the day, why am I in this business? And our reasons for being in business, this particular business, will be varied. There's some of us here who have an intrinsic purpose. It's something within yourself. It's just that you want fulfillment, or you want recognition, or you want to be in a place where you are engaged in healthy living. That is an intrinsic purpose of your life. There are those of you who are here just to make the money, and that is fine. Or you're just here to make friends, or you're just here to have fun. But you need to be very clear. What is the end in mind for my business? It will be so sad when you get to the end or towards the end of your life and you look back and you find whatever I was getting involved in has not brought me fulfillment. I have not achieved the purpose of my life because I was not very clear about where I should be going. And so I challenge you to ask yourself these questions. What is my purpose? What is my business month-end goal, or year-end goal, or year's-end goal? And at the end of the day, what is the ultimate purpose of my business? You will then have engaged habit 2, having the end in mind. And I hope that this has kind of stirred you up Maybe you've been in a place where you've just been in the rat race of just doing things one after the other. I hope it is very clear to you what it is that your life is about, what it is that the business you're involved in your life is about. By the end of the day, what your total life with your personal and your life gelling with each other, what is the ultimate purpose of you having these two connected with each other? Thank you for listening. I'd like to hand back to Jesse.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Harriet. Thank you for that wonderful exposition of what it means to begin with the end in mind. What it means to begin with the end in mind. And I like that many times, I must say, we focus a lot on what do I want to be in future, vision. But I like the connection to purpose, because at the end of the day, what I want to be, what is the why behind what I want to be? What am I trying to achieve? What is it that I want to achieve? And I must say, in this business in Tanzania, there is a lady called Zubeda. Zubeda is now a president's team member. Zubeda happens to be a single mother, and her purpose in the business is to help single mothers to become financially free. That is her purpose. So when she calls for meetings, when she does what she does, that is the focus. And in a way, it has helped her to succeed because of that kind of focus on what she wants to help people to achieve, specifically even in the kind of people that she's targeting. So when you talk about the purpose, I think it comes out clearly. So one of the things I took down in my notes here was, what do you see when you close your eyes? What do you see? So when you close your eyes, 5 years from now, 10 years, 20 years from now, what do you see? So thank you very much for that very important thing. But the other thing is, even going down to the nitty-gritties of having these things documented. For example, you talk about commitment, and commitment is very key, because at the end of the day, if you have a vision of where you want to be, maybe in the kind of business that we are doing, your vision is to be on the world team or on the president's team a few years from now. Now, if there is no commitment statement, that remains a dream. So the commitment statement would probably be, how many people you're going to see every day in, day out. That is the commitment statement. In a way, it is spelling out the effort that has to be done in order for you to see the outcome, because short of that, it only remains a dream or a fantasy which will not come to pass. So I like the focus on commitment, because I look at commitment as where the rubber meets the road. That this is what I have to do, get from here to there. Otherwise, it will just be looking across the river and you don't have the courage to cross the bridge, to step on the bridge. And it will not, at the end of the day, it will not yield any fruit. So I like that you are intentional on bringing out the area of commitment, because that is what is going to bring the results. That is what is going to bring the results. I also put down something here. Yes, when you talked about the mission, yes, you said that your personal mission should line up with the business, with the mission of the business that you're involved in. And just like you mentioned, the mission of Neolife is to make the world a healthier and a happier place. To make the world a healthier and happier place. Which means that when I'm talking to someone, I am not just looking at profits. I'm not just looking at PV. I am looking at making the world a healthier and a happier place by empowering that person to use our products, be it the cleaning products, be it the skincare products, be it the healthcare products, be it the Supergrow. My purpose should be to help this person to become better, happier, and healthier. So my personal mission, indeed, it becomes difficult to plug fully into the business if you are not in alignment with the mission. So to what degree is helping the world to become better in terms of being healthier and happier important to you? That should be the fuel for what we do here in Neolife. And yes, so you did mention something very interesting about, you gave an example of the trees. You're cutting trees, but you find yourself in the wrong forest. And that is very important, because in a way that informed my move from mechanical engineering to where I am today. I noticed I noticed that for me to be fulfilled, for me to be the person that God made me to be, I had to be in a certain field. I had to play in a certain sport that was designed for me. Some of you will know someone called Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt holds the world record in 100 meters, in 200 meters, in the 100 by 4 meter relay. He is the world icon in athletics. He has since retired. Now, you'll also be surprised to know that Usain Bolt has since moved into football, but no one knows him in football. No one knows him in football. Yes, he's playing football. He's probably scoring some goals, but no one knows him in football. Everyone knows him for athletics. So perhaps the question of purpose for me means that what will you be best known for? The way in Good to Great, it talks about what can you be the best in the world at? Not good, because good is the enemy of great. What can you be the best in the world at? I will tell you, Neolife is one place that gives you a field where you can discover yourself, because that has been my personal experience, that you will begin to discover yourself. Either you're good with encouraging people and then you can take that to your team, or you are good with helping people to appreciate the products, and then you can take that and use it to build your business. You could be good with personal organization, and that will also help you to build your business. You might be good with empowering people in terms of knowledge transfer. That will also help you to build your business. At the end of the day, discover what you're good at and strive to be the best at it. That way you will help your own team, but also, most importantly, you'll build a stable and a solid business. For me, I must say this has been quite insightful. Friends, you cannot achieve a mission that you do not have. Okay? You cannot achieve a mission that you do not have. So go back and reflect. I think for me, these sessions are more reflective. Go back and ask yourself, what is my mission? Yes, I'm in your life. We all have products. We are all sponsoring people. But at the end of the day, what is my mission? What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? And I think for me, having reflected on this particular question, I would say that my mission is to make people better. Somehow that is what it is. That when I talk to people, when I run a session, when I talk to people about a product, I want to help you to become better than I found you. And simple as it may sound, it gives me a lot of zeal, energy, and focus. So just like Zubeda said, I want to help single mothers to achieve financial freedom. That is your mission. Could it be that you want to help farmers to have better yields? Could it be that you want to help students to find direction in life? Could it be that you want to help housewives to live in a better environment at home? Could it be that you want to help people to achieve better health and earn more money? Could it be that you want to help young professionals to earn some additional income? Could it be that you want to help the working class to find network marketing as a vehicle of choice in terms of making some additional income? So go back and ask yourself, what do I want to achieve at the end of my life in your life? I think it gives a lot of fuel and motivation as you do your business.